Thank you all for joining today's webinar from Faye and SugarCRM, where we have some of our industry specialists who will identify some of the challenges and trends that are likely impacting your sales performance. And they're going to show you how you can overcome some of these barriers using software such as Revenue Intelligence to help discover your sales forecasting confidence. So just a couple of housekeeping notes before we get started. This session is being recorded, so we will share out that link after. If you just stay tuned, give us a day or two to get that emailed out, whether you were able to attend or not. And please feel free to drop questions in the chat. If appropriate, we will bring those up in live time. If not, we will save them for the end where we do have a Q&A session. So kicking us off today will be Corey Gambello, Director of Sales at Faye, and I will let Corey take it from here.
Excellent. Thank you, Julia. I really appreciate it. And hello and welcome to everybody. Today, we're excited to dive into the Sales Eye capabilities and share how Faye can assist and enable your team to provide deeper insights across your business through the Sugar Sales Eye platform. Today, we'll go through a brief intro, about 5 minutes. We'll jump into some key challenges and trends impacting sales with Caleb, as well as an intro to the AI guide selling with Sales Eye before we jump into some testimonials and a live demo. If we have any questions, we will have a Q&A at the end, about 15 minutes before we wrap up today as well. All right. So my name is Corey Gambello. I'm the Director of Sales here at Faye, and I will be kicking things off by walking through a few slides on who Faye is and how we fit into the sugar ecosystem, along with a brief company overview of sugar. So let's go ahead and get started here. Faye has been an elite partner with Sugar for the past 15 years, and Faye is recognized as one of the largest partners in the world within the sugar ecosystem. We have proudly held the title for the top partner in North America for sugar, demonstrating our deep commitment and expertise in the sugar platform. Faye is a global organization with offices and resources all across the world to assist our clients in implementing, integrating, and optimizing their CRM and AI strategies. Our tagline is "Some eat steak, we eat software." This reflects our dedication to maximizing our clients' experiences with the software they use by eating their software challenges and ensuring they get the best value out of their investment. Now, Sugar has been an innovator of CRM software since 2004. Sugar software is designed to help businesses like yours manage their sales, marketing, and customer service operations more effectively. Offers flexible and open, configurable solutions to fit your business needs and allow your teams to build deeper customer relationships, enhance business processes, and improve collaboration across your teams. Sugar provides leading-edge technology to support the entire customer journey with products like Sugar Sell, Serve, and Market, as well as Sales Eye. This enables your teams to optimize business efficiencies and provide the best customer experiences across any of the customer journey points. Today, we're going to be jumping in and drilling down into the Sales Eye application that will provide your team with deeper insights. With sales data analytics embedded in Sugar's single pane of glass, Sales Eye enables you to sell more and make faster decisions that are more insightful. Sales Eye is a tool that enables your team to easily see where your next move is and identify opportunities for cross-sell and upsell across your customer base. Next, I'll go ahead and pass it along to Caleb, who will be sharing a few slides around Sales Eye capability before we jump into the demo today with Tanner.
Cool. Thanks, Corey. Yeah, so on the Sales Eye side, essentially we're calling intelligent account management because our whole goal with the Sales Eye solution is to identify hidden opportunities within your customer base, right? So we're growing revenue through your existing base, right? And there's a couple of ways that we do this. And I know we've got some slides that'll show more of what the day in the life would look like for a rep, right? So there's a study by Aberdeen. We found that the sales rep on average is spending about 43 hours a month just digging through reports and looking for information, right? So now with Sales Eye, we're able to take all of the time out of giving them back the time back in their day, that 43 hours back in their day. And now they can use that to their advantage and do what they do best, which is talking to customers and selling products rather than filtering through spreadsheets and reports. So we know that the sales rep's biggest asset is time. And that's what we're doing with Sales Eye, is giving them time back in their day, right? More specifically, 43 hours a month, which I talk to a lot of sales leaders every day. We think that's even low, right? But so this is one way that we're doing it, and that's on the sales rep side. And there's other ways that we're also enhancing. If we just do the next slide. Yeah, so this is some statistics that we pulled from a wholesale distributor called Ascendant. We performed some email marketing and have had some crazy statistics, right? And this is actually slightly outdated. I think the total revenue from these email campaigns is about 4 million now. But what we're doing is we're essentially creating lists, identifying customers that are breaking a specific rule. Call it, one example is customers that stop buying, that haven't bought in 6 months, right? We are sending those customers highly targeted emails based on that specific rule that they're breaking, that the Sales Eye solution has found, right? So for all the customers that haven't bought in 6 months, we are sending those specific customers an email that says, hey, we miss you. Here's 10% off, right? So we're able to offer more of a sniper rifle approach when engaging with your customers, or more specifically on the email marketing side, rather than a shotgun approach and sending a lot of emails and hoping something sticks. We're able to be a lot more specific with what we're either talking to our customers about on the sales rep side, or emailing our customers on maybe more on the marketing side, right? So yeah, and with Sales Eye, we have broken up the solutions in essentially 2 different camps, right? One is what we call CRM data, or sugar data, or sales enablement soft data, right? This is your notes, your market, your sell, your serve, customer service, marketing, collaboration between channels or departments internally, right? Some people refer to that as CRM data. Now we enhance all of that data by including your hard data into this. And when we say hard data, we're referring to ERP data, or your back office data, right? Your transactional data. So while your CRM data offers who did you talk to, what did you say with that customer, et cetera, we are now blending on every single account record, what is the customer buying from us, not buying, or what is that talking point, right? What should they be buying, right? And this is from scouring and analyzing your accounts, product catalog, and invoices. Yeah. So while Sales Eye is looking for all that information, again, we are finding these missed opportunities within a customer's buying behavior, right? And now we're spoon feeding it to the sales rep, right? We're spoon feeding that talking point to the sales rep in plain English talking points. So this slide illustrates that there was a study done by Gartner, and this was in 2019, I believe, that essentially says that customers don't want to talk to the sales rep like they used to. So the sales rep, they used to be able to go to their customer's office and spend all afternoon with the customer and ask about the wife and the kids and the family and have some donuts and coffee. And now what we're finding is that the sales rep only has about 5% of that customer's buying time, right? The rest of that customer's buying time is spent meeting internally, right? Meeting with other vendors, doing a lot more research. So what we're finding with the sales rep only having 5% of that customer's buying time, that sales rep better make it as impactful as possible, right? So this leads us to find a lot of value in spoon feeding these analytics, or those missed opportunities, straight to the eyeballs of the sales rep. A, they're not wasting any precious selling time. And B, they're talking to the customer about what matters to the customer, right? They have to make that small amount of time as impactful as possible and talk about the right products to the right customer at the right time, right? So these are just a couple ways that the Sales Eye solution has enhanced our customers, right? Again, from the specific rep's point of view, or from a marketing point of view, really just offering more of a targeted approach and knowing exactly what products or what we should be talking to that customer about that's ultimately going to grow that existing base, right? So we can show you some software now. We'll hand it over to Tanner, and we can run through a couple of use cases.
Awesome. Thank you, Caleb. I'll go ahead and
take the screen over. Great. Awesome. Well, before we get started, I know we probably have some folks on the call that maybe have seen Sugar, some that haven't seen Sugar. So I wanted to, before we dive into the sales intelligence tool that Caleb was just referring to, I want to give a lay of the land of Sugar first and show how a sales rep, as well as a sales leadership or manager position, will be able to utilize Sugar to their advantage. So today I will be working with two different personas. So I'm going to start as a sales rep, and I work for an automotive manufacturing company that sells hundreds of thousands of parts into thousands of customers. So we're going to really see how a sales rep from their dashboard is able to interact with their dashboard and accomplish a lot of their day-to-day work using this actionable dashboard. And then we'll also see how a sales leader can utilize the sales intelligence tool to really gain a better holistic view of their success that their team is having, as well as Caleb mentioned, identify some of those sales gaps or customer leakage of where we can sell and upsell more into our customer base. So before we dive into that sales intelligence tool, I want to just show how I interact with my sales rep dashboard. And I've set up my dashboard in a way where I interact with different areas of my business and customer base, right? So for example, I have all my new business leads here, whether I met them at a trade show, if they filled out a form on our website where that lead and their information is being routed into my dashboard. I also have my pipeline of qualified opportunities where I'm actually following and looking at my pipeline by sales stage and the amount of potential revenue I have within each sales stage. And I'll drill into a few of these reports here. I just wanted to highlight very quickly what I'm looking at. And then right next door to my qualified pipeline, I actually have a pretty unique report I love to use for more of an account management, proactive selling approach where, yes, I have my new leads and my known opportunity pipeline I'm working with my customers, but I also want to make sure I'm paying attention to my customers maybe I don't have open leads or opportunities with, where in this report, I actually have my tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 customers by purchase volume year over year. And it's actually showing me I have 10 accounts in my tier 1 bucket that I have not contacted in the last 30 days. So what's nice about Sugar is these are interactive dashboards. I can actually drill in to my tier 1 accounts, and I have those accounts here, my name, by account health, and I can see all the information around this account here, right? And what's nice about this feature is, again, without leaving my dashboard, I can very quickly what we call a focus dashboards, where I'm giving a preview and kind of a breadcrumb trail up here at the top. So I'm drilling into my report, and then within 2 clicks, I'm actually looking at that full account record, as well as a timeline of interaction. So that soft data that Caleb was referring to of all of those interactions and touch points from calls that I've held with the customer. If I need to drill back into this call record, I can actually pull up that call record and look at any notes from a prior call. Again, getting back to my account record, you're building a breadcrumb trail here where I can, again, see all my calls, meetings that I've held, and meeting notes that I've had in the past with this particular customer. So I wanted to share that as a unique report from more of managing our accounts and keeping up to date every 30 days of at least having a phone call or scheduling a meeting or sending an email to a potential customer for upselling opportunities by tiered customer here. Now, as it relates to leads, again, similar to that, I love to focus on ease of use and user adoption because CRM is only as good as the person using it if they're actually getting in there and interacting with the software. So I have some new leads here. I'm going to focus on Mr. John Burns here. I can see his prediction to convert to a sales opportunity is very likely using our AI model in the background, Sugar Predict. I can see the account name I'm working with, which is National Automotive, and I can see he is the purchasing director. Now, using my focus drawer again, I want to get a preview into all the soft information I have on John. So I have all the contact information. I can see where he came in through the lead sources website. And what I love about Sugar is how quickly I can make a lot of those simple sales activities, right? All the way from quickly logging a phone call. We call these action buttons, where I can very quickly, if I got up the phone call with John, I just hit log call. And what it's going to do is actually bring up my call record, automatically bring in John, right? And then I'm just labeling the subject. I can type any notes that I had around the phone call or internal notes that I want to have. And it's automatically relating this phone call
to John, my lead record or opportunity record that I have here. So I like to point those out as simple actions of even scheduling a meeting that could sync to your Outlook calendar, your Gmail calendar, adding a note. So these are all different easy configurable buttons to make it easy on the sales rep to do a lot of those simple sales activities. And as I'm completing those activities, the touch points, all of those calls that I have, emails, meetings that I have with this individual record, I have all in a 360-degree view without ever even leaving my dashboard. And again, the timeline follows me. So every change, every interaction, touch point I have with John at National Automotive, it's going to log those in a linear time frame. And I can always, again, go back to any calls that I've held, any meetings I've held with that particular person. And then I added my comment log here. This is really great for teamwork, right? So if you have several people on the sales team that might be interacting with the same person, this is used as an internal log to, if I need to comment or touch base with someone on my sales team, they would get a notification when I put in a comment log and send that message over to them. All right. I call the focus drawer view your real estate zone. So whatever reports you have in Sugar can be deployed within your focus drawer view. So I like to keep mine clean and simple with 3 reports here, but you can very simply add different reports to your focus drawer dashboard just by adding a dashlet here. Next, now I covered how I'm working my leads and using my dashboard to get to and interact with that data. I also have my pipeline graph, right? So as far as all of your sales stages that you have in your sales process, right, I can very quickly see I have about $1.5 million that's making up 12% of my pipeline. And I can interact again with this chart. Now I'm drilling into all those sales opportunities that I know are in that quoting stage. And again, very quickly, can I pull up that sales opportunity? Again, working from my dashboard, pulling up the details around the sales opportunity, seeing what products are included in the sales opportunity, as well as purchase history and a timeline of interactions within this view. All right, so the goal of Sugar is keeping on your dashboard, but keep in mind, you always have your list views. So if I needed to pull up my accounts, my contacts, my sales opportunities, all of those are directly accessible here on my left-hand toolbar. Now, from a sales intelligence perspective, I wanted to switch gears here and really focus in on what my meetings are today. So I can see I actually have a meeting with Shawnee Service. I have it scheduled for today. And it actually is an account review and a monthly planning meeting I have with their purchasing director over here. What's nice about Sugar, again, I'm going to drill into those meeting details so I can get an agenda of what we're going to be speaking about with my contact, Rebecca. I can see the agenda for today that I've communicated with her is to review their year-to-date purchases and projected purchase volume for the upcoming quarter, right? And directly from this meeting, maybe 3-4 hours before the meeting, I want to get prepared to actually share some of the sales intelligence data with my customer and really understand what they're buying, what they're not buying, and then again, some of those upselling, cross-sell opportunities that Caleb was referring to. So directly from my meeting here, I can just click on Shawnee Service. And you're going to see it's actually pulling me into my sales intelligence information. And this is where that sales eye data is going to be located from an account record. So again, 2 clicks. I'm being spoon-fed a lot of that data that's coming over for your ERP application. And as Caleb referred to, and I'm going to walk through some reports here, but real quickly, what we see with ERP applications, and even when I speak to my prospects and I ask them, hey, why do you want to bring in ERP information and into your CRM? And a lot of the times I get answers around, hey, I want to see invoice data. Or I want to see a lot of just what my customers are buying from us or late shipments or shipments on our products, but they don't really have a good way to view that data. It's all in data sets and data tables and Excel sheets where what SalesEye is doing is actually bringing in all that data and making it digestible for the sales rep to actually understand what the data is and give them actionable insights into working with their customer. Okay. I wanted to, before I dive in here, is really what is the definition of sales intelligence, right? It's a collection of tools, techniques, and practices that help sales teams make informed decisions by gathering and analyzing data about their customers and prospects. So that's exactly what SalesEye is going to do here. On my account record, Shawnee Service, what I'm actually looking at here is their performance of this year versus last year. And again, I can choose the month to date range here. If I want to look at month to date, the last 6 months, yesterday, last week, I can actually do that on the fly here. So I'm going to keep my date range as the full year over year. And as I scroll down, you're going to see a few important things, right? So again, nightly updates coming over from your ERP application that Sales Eye is actually digesting and giving me this information as a sales rep. Year to date, I can see we're down about $338,000 worth of sales volume. I can see exactly what our cost is for those parts that we're selling into this customer, what our profit is, our average price, and even our quantity of products and the amount of products we're actually selling into this customer base. Now I'm seeing a lot of red figures here, which is exactly why I wanted to highlight this account, is maybe as a sales rep, I want to better understand why are we down $340,000 in value this year versus last year. And as I scroll down, you'll see a few different more reports that I like to cover is first, the variance inquiry by quantity, right? I can see the top 5 products we are selling into Shawnee Service, and I can see year over year how many of those products we're actually selling by count, which is a nice snippet if I want to bring this up in conversation during my meeting. Again, being able to see all the information and the data directly on the account and what this customer is actually buying a lot of, I can bring that up during my conversation. And then down here, I can also see, hey, what are the products they're purchasing most frequently? So all the quantity of these products in this year and how many of these that they have bought. And then my favorite report is the purchase analysis, right? This is actually taking into account all of your product groups, right? So in my instance, I'm selling automotive parts. So these would be your product groups, but I'm selling brake, engine, cooling, suspension, ignition. And what you're looking at here is actually the blue graph is actually what we've sold into this account. And my green line here, the line graph that goes across, is the average customer that I work with and what they are buying in this product category. For example, what I like to see here and what's interesting to me as a sales rep is I'm understanding, yes, thank you, Shawnee Service, for buying a lot of products in our brake, above average in our brake and engine parts. But I can see over here on my right-hand side, they're very below average in that body item group, right? So maybe I want to focus my attention on during my meeting and bringing up some of this information of, hey, it looks like you're buying a lot of brake and engine parts, but where can we work with you on selling more body parts? Or what is your outlook on your customers look like for selling more body parts into your customer base? And you'll see as I scroll down while I'm getting ready for my meeting, what's great about Sales Eye is I can actually get all this data in a snapshot. So all these reports and data that I have year to date, I just hit export snapshot, and I can export this data into a PDF file. So I'm ready for my meeting. And what that looks like, again, is it's just pulling in my sales information here for me. And then it's pulling in all of that current data that we have on this account rep from total purchase value, their share of wallet, and what's the percentage of each product category that we're selling into them. And again, back to my conversation around body is the average customer is spending about 11% in this product category. But for this customer, they're about 4.39%. So it's a very good talking point for me as I go into my meeting around maybe exploring some body products that we can sell more into this account. And again, all those reports related to that screen I was just looking at, I can pull it into a document to share with my customer. Now going back to my account record, again, that story of, hey, let's understand a little bit more about, wait, what are they not buying in our body item group? So what's nice about Sales Eye, again, is I can just scroll up here. I'm going to go to my inquiries tab. This is a really build your own path. Very great. Building a report on the fly of understanding what are they not buying in my body item group. So what's great is I can actually I'm going to highlight my product group level 1, and I'm going to run a query against all that ERP data that I have in your ERP system. And again, it's pulling up. I'm actually going to look at a variance here. You can look at full picture as well as a variance. I want to look at this year versus last year. I'm going to pull in my product group level 1. I'm going to run that query. And within seconds, again, it's going to give me that information, right? So here within Sales Eye, I'm looking at each of my product categories. Now I'm actually going to focus again on that body section. So I'm going to highlight body. And then I'm actually going to drill down all the way down to the individual product level, product SKU, and add that to my query. So you'll see up here, I'm just building a breadcrumb trail report of moving from product group all the way to showing me, hey, what are we not buying in our body section of our product SKUs? So I can see here my vacuum supply pump, my bumper cover, the hood emblem, we're down about 16,000 in several of these item groups, right? So maybe again, as I'm getting prepared, I want to understand, why aren't they buying? I can see they're up $216,000 this year versus last year, but there are some areas that maybe we can sell more around, which is some of these categories I'm seeing we're buying less of this year versus last year. And then within, again, very quickly, if I wanted to add some notes to my meeting to remind myself of some of these talking points, I just click on my scheduled meeting. And again, I can add meeting notes using one of those quick action buttons. Very quickly, I'm moving from that sales intelligence data, what they're not buying and maybe what we can, or what they are buying and I can sell more of, and adding a quick note for myself to remind myself to bring that up during my meeting. That's a unique way of, again, using actionable data, right? It's not just in data sets, it's digestible for me as a sales rep to very quickly, within minutes, understand, hey, they're underperforming in this body item group. Let's bring that up on my phone call or my meeting with Shawnee Service. Next, what I like to point out is really the upsell and cross-sell opportunities. What are the leakage on this account, or where could we have sold more into Shawnee Service? And Caleb had brought this up around what this tool is actually doing. Is you're going to see several different dashlets here on my missed opportunities. And what these are, is it's actually taking in all of your invoice data that you have in your ERP application, and it's taking it into Sugar, and using machine learning, it's identifying, hey, 70% of the time when we sell cooling and drive belts, we also sell valve train components. So all of your invoice history coming over from ERP, it's telling you, hey, 70% of the time, we're selling both of product A with product B. But on this invoice, we did not sell those valve train components, and we missed out on $108 of revenue potential. So right there, I can very quickly, I'm being spoon-fed this data around what we're selling, but maybe what we're not selling with that original purchase. And this goes on, so I have several different ones I can look for, and I can focus my attention on some of those high percentage values of, hey, what is that best opportunity I missed with this customer? And I can see all the different missed opportunities I have of all that invoice history coming over from your ERP application. Now I'm looking at group level. I can even look at item level. So I can see we sold tie rod assemblies, and 82% of the time, we usually sell gasket rings with that. But on this invoice, we didn't, and we missed out on $120 of revenue. So a very easy way for me as a sales rep to get those insights. And while I'm preparing for my meeting, again, some more talking points I can bring up with my customer when I meet with them in the next few hours. Caleb, is there anything you want to add there? I'll take a breath for a second. Is there anything you wanted to add from the sales side perspective here?
No, Tanner, that was great. It's really just focusing the rep's attention on, again, saving that precious selling time and focusing your attention on those opportunities, right? There is the ability to go off-roading and drill down and be a little bit more forensic with the data. What we find is even just a starting point, just initial use cases, you go to those opportunities, you find your talking point, and now you already within 30 seconds have a more dangerous talk track that you can use for your customer, right? But no,
Caleb, I know I've heard you use this analogy before, and it resonated with me. I wanted to bring it up on the call today, but I really like to think as I love golf and I love to use these analogies, but I like to compare the sales eye tool comparable to a caddy in golf, right?
Yeah.
So yes, there's some great sales reps and there's some great golfers out there without caddies, right? But you give that golfer a caddy that's spoon feeding the golfer with that knowledge of the course, how to hit the next shot. It drastically improves the golfer's game. Now you give you give a sales rep sales eye, you're providing your reps with their next shot at understanding their customers' buying behaviors and allowing them to sell more, right? And utilize those 42 hours back in their daily routine.
That's exactly right. Yeah, the golfer is still the professional. They still have to take the shot, just like the sales rep. They're still the professional. They still have to have that conversation, but it's that caddy or that analytics tool in your pocket that can help give them that layup in the conversation or give them that advice.
Yeah, it's all drillable, right? I'm not leaving my dashboard, right? So I haven't even drilled in. I don't have to look and spend time looking for the data. It's ingested from SalesEye and it's given to me right from the account record, right? Now, this is more from a sales rep perspective, right? Well, I'm drilling into my top accounts. I have my scheduled meetings today with my main customers, and I want to understand their individual account, right? Now, when it comes to more of a sales leadership perspective, that I want to understand trends and gaps within all of my sales department, and even different branches I have within my sales department, I'm going to switch gears over to that persona of being in a leadership position. And this is where we actually have the full intelligence dashboard inside of my view. So this might be my main dashboard as a leadership position to understand, hey, what is our overall performance year over year, right? And I scroll down, I can see my top customers by revenue, right? So who are my top customers by revenue? And what are maybe my top 5 products by revenue? What are we selling a ton of, right? Water pump and bearing up certs, right? So I can see all of these different products that we're producing the most revenue from, as well as what's our top 5 customer variance, right? Year over year, right? I can see Northtown Auto Service, right? We're significantly higher this year in sales versus last year. But these are our top difference in variance for our customers. But I can see Walker Automotive is down in sales, right? So typically I'd like to focus on getting all these in the green. So maybe Walker Automotive is a customer. I want to reach out to my sales rep that owns that account record to touch base with them. I'm also seeing a few other interesting points I want to look at here. Is maybe I have some time in my day. I'm understanding, hey, yes, we are doing great this year. We're performing well. All 4 of our branches are selling more this year than last year. But let's take a look at how I can maybe identify some customer leakage. From my sales comparison chart here, this is actually giving me month over month, again, throughout the year of where our sales are at for all 4 of my branches. And I can see we do have some slippage from September to October. And I want to take a look at maybe understanding where we are having some revenue leakage. On my inquiries tab, similar to the view I was giving you as a sales rep, but as a sales rep, I was identifying gaps in purchase trends for that individual account. Now I'm actually looking at my full company view. Again, I want to look at a variance report of this year versus last year. And let's take a look at, I'm going to go through a nice workflow of drilling into the data and understanding, hey, where can we sell more product into what accounts? So first thing I'm going to do is actually, I want to look at my 4 branches within my company. I'm going to go ahead and run that query, and it's going to show me my Eastern, Central, Pacific, and Mountain branches internally that we have at our automotive company. Right? I can see, hey, we're performing pretty well in our Mountain Pacific. We're up about 2.23 million and 2.37 million. But maybe I want to focus my attention on this Eastern branch, right? We're selling about a third amount of the volume and revenue through this branch. So all I need to do is actually highlight the Eastern branch. And now we're going to drill down one step further. I want to look at my sales reps in that territory. We'll run that and add that to our query here. And now I'm actually looking at my Eastern branch, right? But I'm looking at all my sales reps in that territory. Right? I can see we have quite a few reps that are performing pretty well, but I can see Carol here is significantly down, like $1.303 million. I want to take a look at Carol, and maybe there's some product gaps where she doesn't have knowledge of some certain products, or I can identify with Carol and work on her selling motions and maybe identifying what is she doing around her, or how can I assist her in selling more into her customer base. So from there, I want to take a look at not only the Eastern territory, but now I'm looking at Carol. Again, let's look at that product group. Let's see what she's not selling a lot of. I'm going to add that to my query. Now within seconds, again, now I'm looking at those categories. of that we were looking at is brake, body, suspension. Well, I want to focus on, she's not doing well in really any, but we'll focus on the brake category. Right, so I can see she's down 120,000 this year versus last year. We'll highlight brake. And then from there, I want to look at the individual items. So I'll hit product name. I'll run it again and add that to my query. Now I'm drilling within 2 minutes. I'm taking and looking and digesting where we're not selling a lot of and what rep it is and what products they're not selling. So I can see again, the vacuum pump is that number one product. And maybe I have a conversation with Carol around, hey, why are we aware of this product, or are your customers not wanting this product? What is that conversation that I can have with Carol to bring up to her customer base? And then from there, what I like to do is maybe go one step further. I highlight a few items here, and I want to look at her customers, Carol's customers. Now, again, I'm looking at each of her customers in her customer base and what that individual customer is down in that specific product that we're selling into. Again, building kind of my own report here, understanding where some of the leakage is coming from in each of our branches that we have internally. And again, within a few seconds, I'm getting this live data, right? This nightly data that's coming in from your ERP, sales eyes ingesting it. And as a sales leader, I can understand that data more efficiently and make my sales team sell more efficiently. All of these in this report I'm building, I can save this report, add it to my dashboard. So then I can monitor several sales reps or territories that were underperforming and start to see where they're improving month over month just by taking a few minutes to build this variance report. Caleb, anything you wanted to add there as I step away for a second?
No, yeah, again, we're not offering you any new data. It's the vehicle and the speed at which we're able to drill down into that system, as Sandra has just demonstrated, right? You're able to slice and dice at Google-like search speeds to find out, again, these hidden opportunities or slippage that typically would take a couple hours, or you'd have to wait a day or two for the report. Right here, it's seconds, right? And you can slice and dice, drill up, down, sideways, back and forth to really get to the root of the bleeding or root of the issue, right? And then from there, make quick business decisions to end up solving for that issue.
Yeah, and it's nice too. There's options, right? I want to put in I want to add quantity to the mix. Right now, I'm actually adding not only dollar values, but the amount of actual products, right? So I'm looking at sales value, but also now quantity for each of these individual items that my sales rep Carol is selling into her customer base. So it's very unique in the way that I don't have to dig for this data, right? I'm just being shown and spoon-fed this data, so I'm ready for any meetings or if I need to interact with my sales team, understanding where some of that slippage is at. And then similar to, again, as a holistic view, as a sales leader, I can also have access to those missed opportunities. So now, and I know from a manufacturing standpoint, you might look more at group level sales versus distribution might look more at item level sales. So whether you're manufacturing or distribution, I have the option to look at more of the item level of, hey, let's focus on this one right here. 82% of the time, we're selling the tie rod assembly with the gasket ring, and I'm missing out with this individual account, Shawnee Service. And again, I'm understanding this as a leadership. If my sales rep is missing it, I can always schedule a meeting with him to review some of these missed opportunities so he can efficiently sell more into his accounts. And then on top of the missed opportunities, as you're creating these workflows and understanding where some of that slippage is, you can always create alerts, right? So if I want to understand and say, hey, I understand 82% of the time we're selling the tie rod assembly and the gasket ring together, but I'm noticing a trend of my sales team is missing out on some of this potential revenue. You can always create alerts to notify yourself as a leader of, hey, show me all those products where customers spending this amount of money, but they're not buying this product, or send me an alert where the customer's profit is down by 20%. So you can create alerts that come to your dashboard, and you're just building these different alerts based on some of the reporting you've done on your end of digesting that ERP data to understand where you're missing out on revenue. All right, I'm going to stop there. I know I'm about pretty good on time there, about 2 minutes early, which is, I think, better than going way over. Caleb, I'll leave you there to say anything else, any finishing points you want to make there, and then I think we can open up the floor for some questions.
Yeah. A lot of my customers to also leverage additional BI tools, right? This is either a BI tool for the streets or a salesperson friendly intelligence tool, right? So again, we're not giving you any new data, but we're wrapping it up, putting a bow on it, and delivering it to your reps in very simple and digestible use cases and formats. But yeah, no, it was fantastic. Hopefully there are some questions, and we're happy to help where we can, guys.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for that. Yeah, as Caleb said, Tanner, thank you for that. Caleb, thank you for the notes. Super useful to see how to interact with Sugar's dashboard, how to see those lead details in super accessible and organized ways. And then further from that, exciting to see how SalesEye really bridges the gap between ERP data and CRM to create those actionable insights for your sales team, saving time, identifying both missed and potential opportunities. Really exciting stuff. So thank you for that, Tanner. So we will open up the questions. First question, can you work with any ERP?
Yeah, we work with over 200 different ERP and accounting systems. If you have an ERP, there's a good chance that we can work with it. It's just a flat file integration, and depending on what ERP you do have, it just might be a slightly different conversation, but yeah, there's a high chance that we can. Let us know what it is, and I can give you the details on that offline too.
Excellent. How quickly can I get up and running with SalesEye?
Ooh, I've seen stand-ups go as quick as 2 weeks and as long as 60 days. So typically there's a red flag in our business that goes off after 30 days, but typically, conservatively speaking, let's go with 45 to 60 days to stand you up.
Great. Another question, how much does it cost to get started?
Again, there's a range there. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Corey, I think that one's for you. Wondering about price.
I was going to say I can in terms of over here at Fay to really scope out the entire implementation and provide that one-time cost for you guys as well.
Excellent. Okay, which takes us to our next slide. Yeah, Corey, I think we're good on the Q&A if you want to wrap us up.
Awesome. Appreciate everybody joining today. Like I said, if you guys have any questions around the implementation, features, functionality within SalesEye, feel free to reach out to myself. Happy to set up time, as well as loop in Caleb here for additional support as well. Appreciate everybody joining today. You'll also have our contact details here in the presentation as well.
And one thing I wanted to add to there, Corey, anyone that has questions or wants a more in-depth demo of SalesEye and Sugar and the power of that sales intelligence tool, again, today was more of a high level to get you some interested in the solution. And Caleb and I would be happy to jump on a call and interact more with SalesEye and Sugar and where the value comes to each of our prospects and customers.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Tanner, Corey, and Caleb, and thank you all for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.